Hello all, so my name is Sam. This is my zine presentation. I am deciding to do my political movement on social patriotism after 9/11 slash Islamophobia increase after 9/11. So, the zine, I didn't staple everything together. I just kind of made the pages of what the zine would look like. So, kind of social patriotism after 9/11. This is just newspaper, like newsprint, and then I created twin tower drawing. But so I also did pictures off the internet, and I kind of wanted to stick with the newsprint kind of idea. This is a poem it's called How My Life Has Changed by Hillary North, about how her life had changed after 9/11. So what is this movement? When did this political movement begin? So both kind of political movements I'm highlighting began right after 9/11. American patriotism is a pretty big one of just American people kind of coming together to rebuild and reconnect and discover, what's really important after such a massive tragedy affecting so many people. And then on top of that, the Islamophobia that increased after the fact. So obviously, I was looking at statistics, and I included this in my annotated bibliography, but there was a large percentage of Americans, I believe it was 60% was interviewed in 2002, of Americans who stated that they were afraid of Muslim communities or, perceived them negatively. So the two movements I want to highlight are, of course, American patriotism, but also how it affected Islamic communities after the fact. So I also stuck to pictures after 9/11. I kind of like the funky cutouts. I think it makes it look slightly more, I don't want to say dramatic, because I feel like that's slightly insensitive to how this looks, but it just kind of works for it, and it makes it more interesting. And then, of course, the American memorials after 9/11, the Twin Tower light illumination, and then, of course, the waterfall in New York. But those are the magazine prints. Why did this political movement develop? Again, 9/11. That's pretty much why it developed. How has this movement impacted the United States today? There is still an inherent bias against Islamic communities and people of, different Muslim communities and things like that. There is still a bias. And I was also, again, in my annotated bibliography, looking at president response to Islamic communities in 9/11. Bush instated a registration on Muslim men in 2002. All Muslim men needed to be registered within a system, which of course did not apply to anybody white, black, Native American, anybody else, specifically Muslim. Obama pulled that registration thing out, and then Trump instated a ban on Muslim Americans, certain Muslim Americans, certain groups from certain countries coming into the U.S. and visiting. He instated a ban. Biden, a month after his inauguration, rescinded that ban. So how has this movement impacted the United States today? It's been impacting for 20 years. We had American troops within Afghanistan for 20 years, and they were just pulled out recently. So it's still very much, is a consistent thing within our society. How has this movement contributed to the field of ethnic studies? Well, we have had bans on Muslim Americans. We have had Americans fear Muslim Americans and consistent hate crimes toward Muslim Americans and overall Islamophobia, and all of this, we've had it consistently. So how has it contributed to the field of ethnic studies? Hasn't contributed so much as it's just been a major part of it. So that's kind of what I did my zine on. And I don't know, I think with maybe a little more tweaking, the pictures could be great, but I think the specific movements surrounding it are interesting. But yeah.